Hello everyone and welcome to Black Ops 3 for Dummies. In today's episode we'll be breaking down all of the basic rules and strategies for the Arena playlist and getting you ready to go from worrying about your KDR and prestiging in pubs to worrying about your win-loss and ranking up in Arena. Let's get to it. So first off, let's just cover one thing. Your stats will carry over from Arena to pubs. It will affect your KDR. You will continue leveling up. You will continue leveling up your guns, and you will continue earning crypto keys. So if you're worried about stats, it's probably best to avoid the Arena because it's all objective game modes, and you will be affecting your KDR and win-loss and things like that. And right off the bat, you'll notice that there are two different playlists in Arena mode, Pro Series and Mosh Pit. And one quick note on these is they do not rank up together. Your rank in Mosh Pit will not be your rank in Pro Series, so it's best to pick one of the two and stick with it and just use that as the one that you want to level up in, rather than trying to level up side by side or mix and matching, things like that. Now, Mosh Pit is going to be the closest thing to pubs that you get here. It's going to be 4 versus 4 in a Mosh Pit mix of search and destroy, hardpoint, and uplink on all maps. Split screen is not permitted, although I don't really understand why, considering you can have private chat parties, which pretty much gives you all of the advantages of split screening and then some. And in Mosh Pit, everything is available. There is no restrictions on anything that you can use. All of the weapons are unlocked from the start. You could never touch pubs, and you'll have all your weapons, all of your specialists, all of your attachments, all of your perks, and everything else unlocked and at your fingertips, so you don't need to worry about reaching a certain level or prestige before joining the ranked playlist. Now, Mosh Pit is fairly easy. There's nothing really to it. You make your classes for what you want to use, and then you jump into a game, you vote on the map and the game type, and then you play it, and that's all there is to it. Pro Series, on the other hand, is a different story, because Pro Series is designed to mirror what you're going to see in the Call of Duty World League later this year as the pros compete for the World Championship of Call of Duty. So after being put in the lobby, the first thing you're going to do is vote on the map and game type that you want. Then notice that they'll give you a map and a game type, so you'll get something like evac, search and destroy, or infection, uplink, things like that. And so some people might vote on the map they like, some people might vote on the game type they like. Personally, I like voting on the game type simply because the maps all play very similarly and I don't really care about which map I go to. So after voting and selecting what map and game type you want to play, you move on to step number 2, which is ban and protect. Each pair of players gets 30 seconds to choose one thing to either ban or protect, and it moves on down the line until all 4 pairs have picked. Just a couple quick tips as far as strategy is concerned. I personally, if I am in the top 2 pairs, I will choose to protect something because there's a good chance that, it could get banned later because there's still 4 more people to either ban or protect after the top 2 pairs. And if I'm in the bottom 2 pairs, I like to ban things simply because, protecting something when there's only 1 or 2 people left to ban things doesn't seem to do a whole lot of good to me. Another tip I'll give you, and this is more personal preference than anything, but I would not touch the guns. It doesn't, banning and protecting a gun doesn't really affect a whole lot because the guns are so well balanced and there's multiple guns for every playlist. If you ban the Kuda, then whoever is going to use the Kuda will just throw on Razorback and be just fine. If you ban the XR2, then the person who is going to use it will just use the ICR and be just fine. So it really doesn't do a whole lot of good to ban or protect guns. So what I would do if I were you is I would focus on specialists and wild cards. I choose wild cards because what you really want to do is affect their class as much as possible. So if you're doing something like search and destroy and you ban wildcard 3, then they have to choose between awareness or dead silence, they can't have both. And we'll get more into the strategies of banning and protecting later on when we start covering individual game types. After you get through the ban and protect portion, you move on to the specialist draft. During the specialist draft section, each pair of players gets 20 seconds to draft their specialist. You cannot have duplicates on the same team, so if you're playing uplink, you cannot have 4 overdrives. You have to, one person gets overdrive, one person gets kinetic armor, one person gets X, Y, and Z. You can't have duplicates on the same team, and we'll get more into that strategy when we cover the game modes as well. Step number 4 is editing your classes. Each person gets 1 minute to make changes to his class. I suggest having a class pre-set up for each game type. That'd be Search and Destroy, Hardpoint, Capture Flag, and Uplink. And that way, when it comes to editing your classes, you really only have to make changes to one class, and these, of course, changes will be forced by the banning and protecting of whatever people ban and protect earlier. And one quick note, once you hit done, there's no going back, so make sure that you get all of the changes you want made before you hit done. You get a minute to change them. That's pretty significant amount of time. You can make a lot of changes in a minute, so don't rush and make sure that you get your classes set up the way you want them to be set up. And we'll get deeper into class setup strategies later, again, when we cover individual game types. Step number 5 is editing your score streaks, because each game type and map are going to require different score streaks to fully optimize your power in the game type. And also because score streaks get banned a lot. I almost always see UAV getting banned, for example, so if you really want to mess with people, protect UAV early so they can't ban it late, just because for some reason people hate the UAV. But anyway, you only get 15 seconds to change your score streaks, and that time goes by very fast, so make sure that you get that done in a hurry, because you're going to run out of time and then you're not going to get anything. And finally, after selecting your score streaks, you are ready to start the game. Once the game starts, there are 3 different outcomes possible for your character. You could win, you could lose, or you could quit. Now, the way ranking up happens is you have a certain number of stars you have to get at each rank. So at rank 1, you have to get 2 stars to fill rank 1, and then a 3rd star to progress to rank 2. After a win, you get 1 star. So if you obviously you want to win the game, that's the whole point, because then you rank up. It's going to be based solely on your wins. You could go 0-12 in a game of Search and Destroy, and if your team wins, you will get a star to rank up with. Now, likewise, a loss counts as 1 star gone. So if you are trying to rank up to rank 2, you win 2 straight games, and you're 1 win away from going to rank 2, and then you lose your game, you're going to then need 2 more wins to rank up to rank 2, because you will have lost a star. And quitting also causes you to lose a star. Now, there's an interesting note here. If you push start and select quit, you are told by the game that quitting will count as a loss, and that if you quit often enough, you will get temporarily banned from the playlist. The problem is that seems to be bugged, and I don't even really like putting this out there because I don't want to encourage rage quitting, but I actually intentionally went into Pro Series and quit in 5 straight matches, trying to find out how often you have to quit and how long it is that you get banned. And when it started letting me into my 6th match after 5 straight rage quits, I decided that it's either bugged or it's just not much of a penalty, because if you can't win the game 1 out of every 5 times, if you're quitting 5 straight times, I'm pretty sure that you ought to just go back to pubs, because Arena is not for you. So hopefully they'll get the penalty fixed and make it to where you quit 3 times in a row, or 2 times in a row you get banned for 30 minutes or something like that. I actually like the original plan. The original plan was a loss reduces 1 star and a quit reduces 2 stars. So it's better to take a loss than it is to quit. But apparently they decided to go with a temporary ban, which isn't even working properly as it appears right now. And then after the game, you will get time to check your scores, change your classes back, make friends, send friend requests, things like that. And then after a certain length of time, I'm not sure how long it is, you will get kicked from the lobby and you'll start again. It will always kick you individually or kick you and anybody you're partied up with out of the lobby so that you're not constantly playing against the same players or with the same players. Now, if you're wondering why I was willing to destroy my stats by quitting 5 times in a row and taking 5 straight losses and ranking down quite a bit from, I think I went all the way from rank 4 down to rank 1, or if you're watching this at a later time and wondering why the information's outdated, the reason is because Arena is currently in its beta phase. The actual first season starts December 1st, and they're simply using this time to figure out what works and what doesn't work. For example, the addition of Capture the Flag is new to Arena. Originally, it was Search and Destroy, Hardpoint, and Uplink on either playlist. They then added Capture the Flag to the Pro Series. I was actually kind of hoping they would add a Slayer mode, like Kill Confirmed or even TDM, something like that. And I don't understand why Domination isn't in the game either. I think 4v4 competitive domination would be a lot of fun, but for whatever reason, they didn't put it in yet. Maybe they'll put it in later. But that's why I didn't have a problem destroying my stats, or maybe some of this information by the time you're watching the video isn't good anymore, is simply because I'm recording this in November rather than December when the actual season starts. So thanks for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the commentary. I hope this was helpful to you. When I was joining Arena for the first time, these are all the questions that I had, and I couldn't find anybody with the answers, so I decided to come out with a video for it. Black Ops 3 for Dummies is a new series I'm starting. I will be covering most of the game modes, strategies, weapons, classes, things like that. Not so much in depth as far as statistics and things like that are concerned, but more just the strategies and popular uses and practical uses for each game type or weapon or perk, etc. Goodbye.